Sigh no more, lady, sigh no more. Men would deceive us ever. One foot in sea and one on shore, to one thing constant never. Then sigh not so, but let them go, and be you blithe and bonny, converting all your sounds of woe into hey, nonny, nonny.
Hello, everybody, and welcome back to the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge. I'm here with Sheila, John, and Henry to do impromptu performances of the works of Shakespeare chosen randomly by the Wheel of Shakespeare, which we'll bring up here, based on the randomly chosen order that was decided in advance. I will be the first monologue, and then let's see. John is on deck. He'll go after Dad, Sheila. So John is on deck. He will perform after I perform. What is the wheel of Shakespeare going to give me? Antigonus, Androbe, before I exit, pursued by bear. I believe. Okay, here we go. Come, poor babe. I have heard but not believed the spirits of the dead may walk again. If such thing be, thy mother appeared to me last night, for ne'er was dream so like a waking. To me comes a creature, sometimes her head on one side, some another. I never saw a vessel of like sorrow, so filled, so becoming. In pure white robes, like very sanctity, she did approach my cabin where I lay, thrice bowed before me, and gasping to begin some speech, her eyes became two spouts. The fury spent, anon did this break from her. Good Antigonus, since fate against thy better disposition hath made thy person for the thrower out of my poor babe, according to thine oath, placed remote enough are in Bohemia, there weep and leave it crying, and for the babe is counted lost forever. Perdita, I prithee, call't, for this ungentle business put on thee by my lord, thou ne'er shalt see thy wife Paulina more. And so with shrieks she melted into air. Affrighted much, I did in time collect myself, and thought this was so, and no slumber. Dreams are toys, yet for this once, yea, superstitiously, I will be squared by this. I do believe Hermione hath suffered death, and that Apollo would, this being indeed the issue of King Polixenes, it should here be laid, either for life or death upon the earth, its right father. Blossom, speed thee well. There lie. And there thy character, there these, which may of fortune please, both breed thee, pretty, and still rest thine. The storm begins. Poor wretch, that for thy mother's fault art thus exposed to loss and what may follow. Weep I cannot, but my heart bleeds, and most accursed am I to be of by oath enjoined to do to this. Farewell. The day frowns more and more. Thou art like to have a lullaby too rough. I never saw the heavens so dim by day. A savage clamor. Well, may I get abroad. This is the chase. I am gone forever. Okay, John, you're up. Okay, there you are. Okay, so John's first monologue is going to be Crosshill, the Elves of Hills, Tempest Act 5, Scene 1, the Elves of Hills.
Okay.
And then, by the way, let's see, Henry is on deck after John goes, and then Sheila. And then if unless more people join us, I'd like to do a second round of monologues, since we've only got 4 of us today. Have you found it, John? You ready for me to take myself out?
Almost. I'm almost.
Okay.
Some reason, I can't get over. Oh, here we go. Okay, this will be a cold reading. My pre-rationalization. Oh my God, that's long. Oh, I don't think I can do all that. I don't think I can do this. It's too long for me. I mean, can you tell me anything? It's an extraordinary.
Did you want to just do a portion of it, or?
Well, I don't. Okay, well, here, let me try. I don't. Can you see this?
Can I see? Can I see what?
Never mind, please. Oh, okay, well, here, let me just try it and see here. Ye elves of hills, brooks, standing lakes, and groves, and in ye that on the sand with penniless foot do chase the ebbing Neptune, and do fly him when he comes back, you demi puppets that the moonshine to the green sour ringlets make, whereof the ewe not bites, and you those pastime is to make midnight mushrooms that rejoice to hear the solemn curfew, by whose aid, weak masters though ye be, I can't see that word, but something, the moontide sun called forth the mutinous winds, and twixt the green sea and the azured vault set roaring war to the dread battling thunder. Here I give fire and rifted Jove's stout oak with his own bolt. The strong base promontory have I made shake, and by the spurs plucked up the pine and cedar. Graves at my command have waked their sleepers oft, and let them forth be also my potent art. But this rough magic I here abjure, and when I have required some heavenly music, which even now I do, to work mine end upon their senses that this airy charm is for. I'll break ye my staff, bury it certain fathoms in the earth, and deeper than did ever plummet sound, I'll drown the book. Okay, why don't I stop there, please? Can I stop there?
Okay, yeah, sure.
Okay,
Sure, okay.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, so Henry, you're up, and then Sheila. Okay, Henry's going to do. Duke Vincentio, he be the sword of heaven. Okay, that's the end of Measure for Measure, the end of Act 3, Scene 2.
Sorry, I can't read that one though. It's a bit small on my screen.
Yeah. Measure for Measure, Act 3, Scene 2, at the very end.
3-2. Who's the character?
The Duke.
The Duke. Has that been Vincentio?
Yes, yes.
Is it just that last speech then? It starts, "Peace be with you."
He who the sword, maybe he says peace be with you before he starts that.
Oh, he who the sword, yes, okay.
Okay.
He who the sword of heaven will bear should be as holy as severe, pattern in himself to know, grace to stand, and virtue go, more nor less to others paying than by self-offences weighing. Shame to him whose cruel striking kills for faults of his own liking. Twice treble shame on Angelo, to weed my vice and let his grow. Oh, what may man within him hide, though angel on the outward side? How may likeness made in crimes making practice on the time? To draw with idle spiders strings most ponderous and substantial things. Craft against vice I must apply. With Angelo tonight shall lie his old betrothed, but despised, so disguised shall by the disguised. Pay with falsehood, false exacting, and perform an old contracting.
Okay, great.
That was a nice short one for John.
Okay, so Shelia, you're up now, and only four of us. When after you've gone, we'll do another round of monologues. It'll be my turn again after Shelia does. Yeah, I'll start with a second speech. Again, it doesn't start with that. It ends with that. I just put the famous line. Act 1, Scene 4.
Here, nature, here. Dear goddess, here, suspend thy purpose if thou didst intend to make this creature fruitful. Into her womb convey sterility, dry up the organs of increase, and from her derogate body never spring a babe to honor her. If she must teem, create her child of spleen, that it may live and be a thwart, disnatured torment to her. Let it stamp wrinkles in her brow of youth, with cadent tears fret channels in her cheeks. Turn all her mother's pains and benefits to laughter and contempt, that she may feel how sharper than a serpent's tooth it is to have a thankless child. Away, away. Scene.
Love the rage, the passion. That's awesome. Okay, so we're back to me for round 2 of monologues, and then John is on deck. John will go again after I do. Four. Master 4, the little grand Epicurean rascal. Mary Y. Was that 2 scene? What a damned Epicurean rascal is this? My heart is ready to crack with impatience. Who says this is improvident jealousy? My wife hath sent to him. The hour is fixed, the match is made. Would any man have thought of this? See the hell of having a false woman. My bed shall be abused, my coffers ransacked, my reputation gnawed at. And I shall not only receive this villainous wrong, but stand under the adoption of abominable terms, and by him that does me this wrong. Terms, names, animation sounds well, Lucifer well, Barbizon well. They are devil's additions, the names of fiends. But cuckold, Whittle, cuckold, the devil himself hath not such a name. Page is an ass, a secure ass. He will trust his wife. He will not be jealous. I will rather trust a Fleming with my butter, Parson Hugh the Welshman with my cheese, an Irishman with my aquavitae bottle, or a thief to walk my ambling gelding, than my wife with herself. Then she plots, then she ruminates, then she devises. And what they think in their hearts they may effect. They will break their hearts, but they will effect. God be praised for my jealousy. 11 o'clock the hour. I will prevent this, detect my wife, be revenged on Falstaff, and laugh at Page. I will about it. Better 3 hours too soon than a minute too late. Cuckold, cuckold, cuckold! Okay. That's fine. I don't think I'll leave it. All right, John, you're up. And you will do...
Thank you.
Oh, the sergeant. Outfits. Macbeth. Act 1, Scene 2.
Okay. Just trying to get it a little bit bigger. Okay. Doubtful it stood, as two spent swimmers that do cling together and choke their art. The merciless MacDonald wold, were they to be a rather rebel, for to that the multiplying villainies of nature do swarm upon him. From the western isles of currents and gallow glasses is supplied, and fortune on his damned quarrel smiling showed like a rebel's whore. But all's too weak. For brave Macbeth, Well, he deserves that name. Disdaining fortune with his brandished steel, which smote the bloody execution, like valor's minion carved out his passage till he faced the slave, which ne'er shook hands nor bade farewell to him, till he unseamed him from the nave to the chaps and fixed his head upon the battlements. Thank you.
Okay. Awesome. Love Macbeth. Henry, you're up, and your next monologue will be... Hilarious. In Kimberly, Act 3, Scene 3, again, the very end of the scene. Cymbeline, Act 3, Scene 3, the very end.
Did you say 3-3? I got 3-3.
I believe 3-3. Did I get it? Did I get it wrong?
I can't see the cue words, but should I just do it? Is it just the last speech?
Oh yeah, he says, "My fault is nothing," and then Guiderius and Arviragus exit.
Oh, that's it. Okay.
And they
Okay.
exit how hard it is to hide the sparks of nature. So from there, you can do the part before that if you want, but it's up to you.
From my fault. No. My fault being nothing, as I have told you oft, but that two villains, whose false oaths prevailed before my perfect honour, swore to Cymbeline I was confederate with the Romans. So followed my banishment. And this 20 years, this rock and these demesnes have been my world, where I have lived at honest freedom, paid more pious debts to heaven than in all the fore-end of my time. But up to the mountains, this is not hunter's language. He that strikes the venison first shall be the lord of the feast. To him the other two shall minister, and we will fear no poison, which attends in place of greater state. I'll meet you in the valleys. How hard it is to hide the sparks of nature. These boys know little they are sons to the king. Nor Cymbeline dreams that they are alive. They think they are mine. And though trained up thus meanly the cave wherein they bow their thoughts to hit the roofs of palaces, and nature prompts them in simple and low things to prince it more, much beyond the trick of others. This Polydore, the heir of Cymbeline and Britain, who the king his father called Guiderius, Jove, when on my 3-foot stool I sit and tell the warlike feats I have done, his spirits fly out into my story. Say, thus mine enemy fell, and thus I set my foot on's neck. Even then the princely blood flows in his cheek. He sweats, strains his young nerves, and puts himself in posture that adds my words. The younger brother Cadwal once Amiragus, in as like a figure, strikes life into my speech and shows much more his own conceiving. Hark, the game is roused. Oh, Cymbeline, heaven and my conscience knows thou didst unjustly banish me. Whereon, at 3 and 2 years old, I stole these babes, thinking to bar thee of succession, as thou reftest me of my lands. Euryphile, thou wast their nurse. they took thee for their mother, and every day do honour to her grave. Myself, Belarius, that am Morgan called, they take for natural father. The game is up.
Okay, great. So we got one more monologue before we spin for scenes, and that's going to be Shelia. And shoot, her second monologue is going to be Install, I Know You All. This is Henry IV, Part 1, Act 1, Scene 2. After that long, big scene with Falstaff is after Falstaff exits and he breaks the fourth wall to. How.
I know you all, and will a while uphold the unyoked humour of your idleness. Yet herein will I imitate the sun, who doth permit the base contagious clouds to smother up his beauty from the world, that when he please again to be himself, being wanted, he may be more wondered at, by breaking through the foul and ugly mists of vapours that did seem to strangle him. If all the year were playing holidays, to sport would be as tedious as to work. But when they seldom come, they wished for come, and nothing pleaseth but rare accidents. So when this loose behaviour I throw off, and pay the debt I never promised, by how much better than my word I am, by so much shall I falsify men's hopes, and like bright metal on a sullen ground, my reformation, glittering o'er my fault, shall show more goodly and attract more eyes than that which hath no foil to set it off. I'll so offend to make offence a skill, redeeming time when men least think I will.
Okay, very nice. So now we have, let's see, we need to, we'll spin for scenes. We need to create roles for the four of us. Okay, so there it is. Okay. Two gentlemen. And I put the, let's see, Sylvia and Julia. So this is two people. So Sylvia is a small role, so I'm not going to make you use up your turn taking out one. I'll just assign that to somebody that did the other scene. So Julia will be one role to choose from. Okay, Coriolanus and Phidias in Act 4, Scene 5. Okay, so what we're going to do, the four to choose from, because we do have four roles, but I realize Sylvia is going to be a small role. Whoever gets that's going to be disappointed. So I'll just randomly assign that. We'll have the four choices will be to be Julia in the two gentlemen scene, Coriolanus or Phidias in the Coriolanus scene, and the fourth choice will be to do a third monologue. I'm going to take Coriolanus, and John has the next choice. You have Ophidius, Julia, or another monologue.
Oh, another monologue, I think, because I'm not quite familiar. Okay. Thank you.
All right, so John will do another monologue. Henry, would you like to be Ophidius or Julia?
I'll do Ophidius, please. Can I just say, also, I am going to need to leave quite soon, so if...
Okay, yeah, I was going to... Do you have time to work? Because even though I spun it second, we can do the Coriolanus scene first, if you like.
That's what I was going to ask, yes.
Okay, yeah, that's fine. So that leaves that leaves Sheila will be Julia, and I'll sign the other role. Yeah, let's you and I do the Coriolanus and Ophidius scene.
Oh. What is it, 4/4?
4/5. We have the serving men. Enter Ophidius. Okay, so it looks like enter Ophidius with the second serving man. Says, "Where is this fellow?" The second serving man says, "Here, sir," and then he leaves, and then it's just us. So I think it would start with you saying, "Whence comest thou?" Have you found that?
Yeah.
Okay, so we'll go and start from there.
Hold on. Whence comest thou? What wouldst thou? Thy name? Why speakest not? Speak, man, what's thy name?
If Tullus, not yet thou knowest me, and seeing me dost not think me for the man I am, necessity commands me name myself.
What is thy name?
A name unmusical to the Volscians' ears, and harsh in sound to thine.
Hey, what's thy name? Thou hast a grim appearance, and thy face bears a command in it. Though thy tackle's torn, thou showest a noble vessel. What's thy name?
Pare thy brow to frown. Knowest thou me yet?
I know thee not. Thy name.
My name is Caius Marcius, who hath done to thee particularly, and to all the Volsces great hurt and mischief. Thereto witness me my surname, Coriolanus, the painful service, extreme dangers, and the drops of blood shed for my thankless country are requited, but with that surname, a good memory, and witness of the malice and displeasure which thou shouldst bear me, only that name remains, the cruelty and envy of our people, permitted by our dastard nobles who have all forsook me, hath devoured the rest, and suffered me by the voice of slaves to be whipped out of Rome. Now this extremity hath brought me to thy hearth, not out of hope, mistake me not, to save my life, for if I had feared death of all the men in the world, I would have voided thee, but in mere spite, to be full quit of these my banishers, stand I before thee here. Then, if thou hast a heart of reckoning, thou wilt revenge thine own particular wrongs, and stop those maims of shame seen through thy country. Speed thee straight, and make my misery serve thy turn. So use it, that my revengeful services may prove as benefits to thee, for I will fight against my cankered country with the spleen of all the underfiends. But if so be thou darest not this, and that to prove more fortunes thou art tired, then in a word, I also am longer to live most weary, and present my throat to thee into thy ancient malice, which not to cut would show thee but a fool, since I have ever been followed with thee by hate, drawn turns of blood out of thy country's breast, and cannot live but to thy shame, unless it be to do thee service.
Oh, Coriolanus, Coriolanus, each word thou hast spoke has weeded from my heart a root of ancient envy. If Jupiter should from yond cloud speak divine things and say, "'Tis true," I'll not believe them more than thee. O noble Coriolanus, let me twine my arms about thy body, where against my grained ash 100 times hath broken, scarred the moon with splinters. Here I clip the anvil of my sword, and do contest as hotly and as nobly with thy love as ever in ambitious strength I did contend against thy valour. Know thou first, I loved the maid I married. Never man sighed truer breath. But that I see thee here, thou noble thing, more dances my rapt heart than when my wedded mistress saw bestride my threshold. Why, thou Mars, I tell thee, we have a power on foot, and I had purpose once more to hew thy target from thy brawn, or lose mine arm foot. Thou hast beat me out 12 several times, and I have nightly since dreamt of encounters twixt thyself and me. We have been down together in my sleep, unbuckling helms, fisting each other's throat, and waked half dead with nothing. Worthy Coriolanus, had we no quarrel else to Rome, but that thou art thence banished, we would muster all from 12 to 70, and pouring war into the bowels of ungrateful Rome, like a blood flood o'erbear. Oh, come, go in, and take our friendly senators by the hands, who now are here taking their leaves of me, who am prepared against your territories, though not for Rome itself.
You bless me, gods!
Therefore, most absolute sir, if thou wilt have the leading of thine own revenges, take the one half of my commission, and set down as best thou art experienced, since thou knowest thy country's strength and weakness, thine own ways, whether to knock against the gates of Rome, or rudely visit them in parts remote, to fright 'em ere destroy. But come in, let me commend thee first to those that shall say yea to thy desires. 1,000 welcomes, and more a friend than e'er an enemy. Yet, Coriolanus, that was much. Your hand most welcome.
Okay. Great. Thank you, Henry. I know you
Thank
gotta
you.
go, so we're glad you were able to join us for the time that you were available. Now Sheila is going to do her. I'll just do that one with you because John's prepared. He's going to do his monologue next. So Sylvia and Julia. I still got to find that one.
Julia has a monologue at the beginning and the end of the scene, but I'll skip the first monologue, go into the conversation, and then end with the final monologue.
I didn't. Right? Is it Act 1, Scene 2, or?
No. What 4/4? I thought it was 4/4. Let's see. 4/4.
4/4. Okay.
Yes. So at the time when it says Sylvia enters, I'll start at that entry.
Still looking. Oh, enter Sylvia, gentlewoman, good day. Is that where you're?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. Gentlewoman, good day. I pray you, be my mean to bring me where to speak with Madam Sylvia.
What would you with her, if that I be she?
If you be she, I do entreat your patience to hear me speak the message I'm sent on.
From whom?
From my master, Sir Proteus, madam.
Oh, he sends you for a picture.
Aye, madam.
Ursula, bring my picture here. Go give your master this. Tell him from me, one Julia, that his changing thoughts forget would better fit his chamber than this shadow.
Madam, please you peruse this letter. Oh, pardon me, madam. I have unadvised delivered you a paper that I should not. This is the letter to your ladyship.
I pray thee, let me look on that again.
It may not be, good madam. Pardon me.
There hold, I will not look upon your master's lines. I know they are stuffed with protestations and full of new-found oaths, which he will break as easily as I do tear this paper.
Madam, he sends your ladyship this ring.
Oh, shame for him that he sends it me, for I have heard him say 1,000 times his Julia gave it him at his departure. Though his false finger have profaned the ring, mine shall not do his Julia so much wrong.
She thanks you.
What sayest thou?
I thank you, madam, that you tender her. Poor gentlewoman, my master wrongs her much.
Dost thou know her?
Almost as well as I do know myself. To think upon her woes, I do protest that I have wept 100 several times.
Belike she thinks that Proteus hath forsook her.
I think she doth, and that is the cause of her sorrow.
Is she not passing fair?
She hath been fairer, madam, than she is. When she did think my master loved her well, she, in my judgment, was as fair as you. But since she did neglect her looking-glass and threw her sun-expelling mask away, the air hath starved the roses in her cheeks and pinched the lily tincture of her face, that now she is become as black as I.
How tall was she?
About my stature. For at Pentecost, when all our pageants of delight were played, our youth God and me to play the woman's part, and I was trimmed in Madame Julia's gown, which served me as fit by all men's judgments as if the garment had been made for me. Therefore, I know she is about my height, and at that time I made her weep a good, for I did play a lamentable part, madam. 'Twas Ariadne passioning for Theseus' perjury and unjust flight, which I so lively acted with my tears that my poor mistress, moved therewithal, wept bitterly, and would I might be dead if I, in thought, felt not her very sorrow.
She is beholding to thee, gentle youth, the last poor lady, desolate and left. I weep myself to think upon my words. Here, youth, there is my purse. I give thee this for thy sweet mistress' sake, because thou lovest her. Farewell.
And she shall thank you for it, if e'er you know her. Virtuous gentlewoman, mild and beautiful. I hope my master's suit will be but cold, since she respects my mistress' love so much. Oh, alas, how love can trifle with itself. Here is her picture. I think if I had such attire, this face of mine were fully as lovely as is this of hers. And yet the painter flattered her a little, unless I flatter with myself too much. Her hair is auburn, mine is perfect yellow. If that be all the difference in his love, I'll get me such a colored periwig. Her eyes are gray as glass, and so are mine. Aye, but her forehead's low and mine is high. What should it be that he respects in her, but I can make respective in myself? If this fond love were not a blinded god. Come, shadow, come and take this shadow up, for 'tis thy rival. Oh, thou senseless form, thou shalt be worshipped, kissed, loved, and adored. And were there sense in his idolatry, my substance should be statute in thy head. I'll use these kindly for thy mistress' sake that used me so. Else, by Jove, I vow I should have scratched out your unseeing eyes to make my master out of love with thee. Scene.
Okay, great. So lastly, to wrap it up, John requested to do one more monologue instead of the scene. So let's see what the wheel gives him for our final performance of today's round. John's going to do awareness. I'll give you my reasons. Act 3, Scene 1. I'll give you my reasons.
Oh, okay. I'll give my reasons, more worthier than their voices. They know the corn was not our recompense. Wrestling will assure that ne'er did survive for it. Being pressed to the war, even when the navel of the state was touched, they would not thread the gates. This kind of service did not deserve corn gratis. Being in the war, their mutinies and revolts, wherein they showed most valor, spoke not for them. The accusation which they have often made against the Senate, all cause unborn, could never be the motive of our so frank donation. Well, what then? How shall this bissom multitude digest the Senate's courtesy? Let deeds express what's like to be their words. We did request it. We are the great poll, and in true fear they gave us our demands. Thus we debase the nature of our seats and make the rabble call our cares fears, which will in time break up the locks of the Senate and bring in the crows to peck the eagles.
Okay, thank you, John. And thank you, everybody, for your great performances today. As always, look forward to our next round of the Wheel of Shakespeare Challenge 2 weeks from today. I'll see you guys then. Bye now.